Hello and welcome to. We actually have a bonus episode this week. A very special episode for Oisín Mcvicker from Gaelfit, who is going and doing an almighty task between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, isn't it?
Just Friday and Saturday.
Just Friday, Saturday.
Hopefully. I might run into Sunday, but
fingers crossed. He is going to be doing Cave Hill for the same amount of times as what it would take to go up Everest for a very, very special cause, which is the North Belfast Food Community Food Bank, which is unbelievable. I've seen Oisín, promoting it through his own Instagram, and we'll be friends anyway. But I think it's really important to see that and to acknowledge that we all have to come together for things like this, whether it's even things to do with, let's face it, or mental health, or people struggling with food or money or whatever. I think that, the more people we build within this community, I suppose, of let's face it, and with Oisín, with Gaelfit and all different things that he's doing, the more power we'll have, and the more people we can reach, and the more of an impact we can make, really. 100%. So it's this week's just a bonus episode, no sponsors or anything like that. What I would say is our link for our live event on the 12th of January, which I just seen Oisín bought a few tickets for. For the 12th of January, be down below. Really looking forward to it. There's not many tickets left, actually, so get on to it there, and it's going to be a great night. And but welcome, Oisín. What's the crack? Oh, sorry, yes, and we'll have another very special visitor today, who is Eamon. Most of you know who Eamon is already. He's the chairman of Let's Face It, but we had a wee fallout today, so he was resigning as the chairman of Let's Face It, but now that he's back onto the podcast, I think he's back in. Are you, Emo? You back in? Well, I'll have to see what happens.
We'll see how it goes.
But no, Oisín, thanks for taking the time to come over and get a chat, but I just wanted to get a chat.
Thanks for having me, first of all.
Yeah, no bother.
It's lovely to be on.
Yeah, I think because we've had loads of people on, and there's a lot of people throughout our we do all these things for a reason. Do you know what I mean? Giving back and stuff like that. And I suppose I wanted to get into sort of you and what you do, because in North Belfast, they're in the Ardoyne area and stuff like that. I know you do a lot of work with the GAA club first and foremost, but you actually stopped teaching not that long ago when you started your own company, Gaelfit, and I just wanted to sort of get a chat to you. So, everyone has a why, do you know what I mean? And it's sort of to see what your why is and what makes you tick and what the...
I'll start off. I love teaching. I taught in the school in the New Lodge for 5 years and really, really, really enjoyed the teaching aspect of it. But I also found when I was doing different lessons, it was always the sports ones I loved. I always put the most effort into. And I know you don't really plan a sports lesson, but I always found the kids got the most enjoyment when I was teaching during sports. And kind of came to the idea of there wasn't many people going around the schools, especially the Irish schools, doing just multi-sport coaching, Gaelic hurling. I know even the likes of Gaelfast would struggle to get around all the Irish schools and be able to deliver them sessions through Irish. So it was a good opportunity for me to go, don't know what, I'll take a break from the teaching and throw myself into something that I'm very passionate about. And it's been going really well. I'm probably working more hours. I don't have to mark books, but I'm working more hours, certainly. But it's enjoyable, and my family and friends been really supportive. I'm still doing the PT as well, so I do have a full schedule, and it's brilliant to be able to fit your schedule and work around Gaelic, hurling, coaching, and it is nice that you touched on the Ardoyne thing there. It is nice to be back playing for Ardoyne, and I know you travelled a wee bit yourself around and you tested different clubs, but you always end up back maybe at your home club or your starting club, and it's really good to be back playing for Ardoyne and helping the kids' development there as well, and getting different stuff up and going and supporting the coaching there as well. So no, I'm really enjoying things at the minute, and things are going good. No,
that's class, and I think I have done a fair bit of travelling with different clubs and stuff like that, but you always have that sort of warm feeling and sense of belonging whenever you do go back into your own club, I suppose. But even for the community aspect of it, and you're saying there about everything you're doing, you're probably working more hours that you were working whenever you were teaching, but I think whenever you have a purpose, and this is something that I talk about a lot too, when you have a purpose, I'm in QMR there 40 hours a week, I'm doing this a good 15, 20 hours a week anyway. And it's just on top of the counties just started back in training there every night of the week, and it's just like, how do you fit all this time? But whenever you have a purpose, it doesn't even feel like work, doesn't it?
In my last year of teaching, I struggled. I really did struggle to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
And you're talking like you'd be in school for 8:30, and I was rolling out of bed at 8:15, falling into the shower and hitting down the road. Like, now I am in the gym at 6:30 every morning, and the alarm goes off. You turn it off. You're up. You're in. And you know, I really am. I did enjoy teaching, but I'm enjoying this more. It's given me more of a spring in my step, and it's enjoyable. So I'm not counting the hours. I might be working more, but I'm not counting the hours. And as I said, like you probably wouldn't be able to do it without the support of everybody. And you know, Shawnee's not asking me why I'm out every night of the week coaching or PTing or doing something or playing football. But again, it's an understanding thing as well. She plays Gaelic. Her dad played Gaelic, so she understands when you're out 2 or 3 nights a week training that it's not that you're trying to get out of the house. It's that you're training and you're training with your team for the ultimate goal of maybe winning a championship or getting a championship final. So no, it's a purpose with that as well, which is good. Yeah,
and it does. You're right. It does give you that sort of spring in your step, and you're just like, but I'd be the same. Like just bounce out of bed in the mornings now, and it's just class. But even in terms of before we touch on what you're doing this weekend, in terms of Gaelfit, so if I'm a school or if I'm a youth club or an organisation or even someone who wants to work on myself personally, how can I reach out to you and what would you provide? First to say, we'll start off with schools.
We'll start off with Gaelfit. So Gaelfit is a sports coaching company, and I offer my services to schools and community groups, as you said. They'll just get in touch with me. My number is on the Facebook page. The website's getting built at the minute, and it's on my Instagram page.
Which is, sorry?
Gaelfit Limited on Facebook and Instagram. And again, there's a email there as well as info@gaelfit.com. Shoot me through an email and we can get a conversation started on whatever I can deliver to your schools, whatever you have kind of the budget for or the need for. Do you know, there's schools there that have me in doing, I drew up because of my teaching experience and because of the knowledge of the curriculum of a PE curriculum, basically, a PE sports curriculum there. A PE plan basically from P1 to P7.
Based around the curriculum?
Yeah, based around the curriculum that I can go into and I can go in and teach it. And, you know, the kids really enjoy it. It's different sports, it's different activities, it's different multi-sport games, but it's really bringing it back to the basics as well. I find that a lot of kids, if they're not out playing for sports teams, they're not doing very much outside of school. You know, they're sitting on Xboxes, they're sitting on iPads, and they're looking at screens all day. So you see the kids and you know straight away, you can spot the ones who play hurling, who play Gaelic, who play soccer, because they've got that touch, they've got that movement, just motor skills and the movement, the hand-eye coordination. And I think it's really, really important for kids to be involved in sports outside of schools. Do you know, it's growing up, all I did was play sport. You're probably the same yourself, and it didn't matter what it was. Yeah. You went along, you tried everything. You were swimming, you were playing Gaelic, hurling, soccer, handball, anything you could fit into another night. And it doesn't seem like, I know there's a lot of kids doing it still, but it's not as much from when we were kids, and there's not as much kids out running about. I know when I say run about the streets, but out playing on the streets. On, like, when was the last time you seen a skateboard and now you're seeing scooters these days, but they're all electric.
Yeah.
Do you know, skateboard, rollerblades. I remember when I was teaching, bringing a skateboard into school and thinking, oh, the kids are going to love this. Used it as part of a lesson, and there was only a couple of them that could skateboard. And I was going, when I was your age, I was out on skateboard every day or out in rollerblades. Do you know, there's I've plenty of good stories of me and my brother. Do you know, 10 skateboards or 10 somebody on a pair of rollerblades at the back of a bike. I know some accidents happened and a few broken wrists down the lane, but it was good fun and you were out enjoying yourself, burning energy. Yeah. So it's one of them ones where I think I'm just really passionate about getting kids involved in sport. Do you know, it's given children the opportunity and maybe trying 6 weeks of one sport, 6 weeks of another sport, and giving them the information to get to a club or somewhere where they can find that in North Belfast outside of school hours. Yeah, to make that sort of transition. But I think even, and everything you said there is bang on, but like, even if you go a bit deeper in that, in terms of what that does for
Right, of course we need to work on these things for sports, but even at your thing, you're working on like balance and agility and stuff like that, just things that you need for everyday life, like going for a walk or whatever. Because very often you see kids, and I work with kids too, like like coaching and stuff like that as well. So, and very often you see them and they can't walk nearly in a straight line, or they can't, you know, they're always getting pushed over or whatever. But even if you want to go even deeper than that in terms of like. And it's very hard to come across the right way whenever you're talking about this, but like social skills, and whenever you do meet kids now and they can't sort of have that one-on-one conversation, or you know, even in terms of our mental health too, like is it good for you sitting in the house with your Xbox and not being able to have conversations with people? I do understand that that's the way of the world now, but there's a lot to be said for fresh air and going out and communicating.
Mental health ties into a big bit of that. When you come to the fresh air and you come to even training, you'll find a lot of my training changed up a lot over the last couple of years. I probably would have been in the gym 5 or 6 days a week, or else at this time of the year it would have been, with no Gaelic, no hurling, you'd have been in the gym 5 days a week at least. But now I've scaled that back a bit, and I strength train 3 times a week, but I find myself out in the fresh air the rest of the time, you know, probably more so because I have a dog. But I really enjoy that, getting out, walking the Cave Hill, going for a walk, and getting that kind of outdoor time as well. Do you know, that's my relaxation time. Although I'm walking, and you're out and about, but that's kind of that break that your brain needs as well. Do you know, away from screens, away from work. Yeah. Just that I find that's really, really good for my mental health.
Even it's nearly like I get you, because I'm the same. I don't have a dog. Eamon's laughing at me because he does this thing. Go, do you want to do it to him quickly? Go, you go. He goes, right. Where's the dog? Where did the dog go? And then go. Where is it? Where? But it's nearly like a meditation, and you know, going out and relaxing and clearing your head, and you know, and connecting with, and this sounds mad as well and a wee bit hippie-ish, but it's something that I've done a lot recently, sort of like connecting with the earth again. Do you know what I mean? Connecting with nature, and I know you do that too, in terms of like spending most of your time in sort of Cave Hill and stuff. I see by your Instagram, but no, I think it's amazing that. Because the last time I spoke to you was probably about 2 years, a year and a half ago anyway. I was over working at your summer camp, and you were sort of toying with the idea of doing this, and now that you have done it, I think it's amazing, because you know, we're often, even, you know, I was in a job too, like 9 to 5, and you're often just going around in circles, and again, it's nothing against the jobs that we're in, but whenever we can provide and have a purpose, and break down that barrier of actually going and doing what you want to do, there's a lot to be said for it, isn't there? Like,
I think it's a lot of people have had different opinions. You know, my ma said it was silly. You know, I'd worked, I went to university. Yeah, I was in a good job. I was progressing in my job, and my dad was just like, "No, fair play. You have to do what you want to do." You know, everybody's going to have their own opinion, and again, other people's opinion don't really matter. If you're happy, and you know, it's making you feel better, it's making you jump out of bed in the morning, go for it. Exactly. You know, 100% go for it. Take the leap and try it. All you can do is fail.
Exactly.
You know, I can it sounds like I'm pissing on the teaching profession, but I'm not. But I can always go back to teaching. You know, if this fails, I can go back to teaching, and for me it's a good kind of. It is a good profession, but it's not something that I want to spend the rest of my life doing. And I'm really passionate about what I'm doing at the minute and really enjoying it. You know, getting the opportunity. And a lot of people don't want to go and work late in the evenings. I done a class for Solas Minogue in Clornamona a couple of weeks ago, and it was I think it was only with 8 kids, but it was one of the best sessions that I took, and the feedback I got from them kids was unbelievable too. And it really kind of hit home that you were doing something good. You know, it was I think it was like 8 to 9 on a Friday night. You know, who leaves a 9 to 5 or a 9 to 4 profession to go and work Friday night 8 to 9 somewhere? But it was unbelievable, and the feedback I got from the kids that took part was brilliant. And you know, it really hit home for me that's what I wanted to do. Yeah. You know, I was doing the right thing for myself.
And money can't buy that.
No, definitely
you know,
not.
I get the feeling too, like all the time when people come up to me and say different wee things that I talk about every week on this podcast. I just think that money can't buy that sort of energy that it gives you, and that sort of sense of belonging, and sort of sense of that I know what I'm doing is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's class. But I just mentioned Cave Hill there, but going into it, then you're actually this weekend you're doing an almighty event which is class looking, and Eamon has a question for you actually. What was the question again?
First one.
Times you gonna go around? Ask him. Yep. How many times you gonna go around it?
Many times you go around it.
25.
Wow.
So we're going to go around the Cave Hill. So we've a loop set up. If you go on to my Instagram page, you'll see of the map up. I'll even send it to you after, and you can post it. So there's a map, and it shows you the Hightown car park.
Okay.
The entrance there. So there's car parking and stuff there, and then it shows you the lap going, starting. You go up round Napoleon's Nose, down past the zoo, back round down the bottom, and back up, and then that's your one lap. So
How long is a lap?
6k,
6k. Wow. And you're going to do that 25 times?
150k. Quick maths.
Sitting for the last 4 weeks working at it.
Enough interviews done at this stage. We've got that one of the quick maths.
No, but I think even, tell me a wee bit more then about the community food bank and how, because like where we are now in on the Falls Road, I suppose.
But it's brilliant. You see everybody coming together at this time of year, and I know the food banks aren't just for Christmas.
Yes.
The work that people in the North Belfast Community Food Bank do, the West Belfast Food Bank, there's people there working January to December, and the work that they do throughout the year is unbelievable.
But what I was going to ask there is, just before we go into like the impact it's going to make, how like I was saying there, we're in the Falls Road, and it's probably in a recent study we actually done in school, so it was about 5-6 years ago, about it being one of the most depraved areas in Europe.
Yeah.
We're living in a society where things are really, really hard. And obviously you see it by working in a community.
Yeah.
How bad are things
at the minute?
Yeah.
In North Belfast, I've a few figures for North Belfast. There's 17 different schools and community organisations coming to the North Belfast Community Food Bank with referrals.
Right.
So that's 17 different schools or community groups with numbers as high as one group could have 100 people needing help. It's the impact of the crisis at the minute is mental. And at this time of year, when people are already struggling, but they want to provide a good Christmas for their family, they want, people are struggling to either put food on the table or to heat their homes, and that's just where we are at the minute. There's not many other places people can turn to for support, but the food banks are there and they're an option, and all you have to do is lift the phone or send them a message on Facebook or Instagram, and somebody will be able to help you. I'm not necessarily on the ground in the food bank. I do a fundraiser for them and help them out over the Christmas period, building parcels, delivering parcels. There's the likes of Nicola Bradley and Tomas O'Neill who are on the ground daily, or when they both have full-time jobs themselves, so when they are doing the work that they do with the food banks, that they would have a lot more information and details than me, but I just know that if you lift the phone or you make contact, there's the different community food banks will be able to support you.
And it's crazy, isn't it, that even some of them figures and stuff, and we're all constantly trying to put on a face, or just trying to get on with it, and just trying to just make ends meet, I suppose, and obviously some people are better off than others, I understand that, but I think that with the
I think with a rise in social media as well, that can be a very there are different positives you can take and use social media for, like we're doing right now. We're highlighting the need, but I find that coming up to Christmas or on Christmas, you're seeing people post different things, and it's not that some of these posts can come across that this is what we got for my child for Christmas, and
sofas are full, and
sofas are full, but then there's a child down the street who Santa didn't leave the same amount of stuff for, who why does them kids are asking questions to their parents, why did such and such get this, and why did Santa get this for them, and why did Santa not get me that? Not every family can provide or give children what they want for Christmas necessarily. You know, you'll see all the advertisements for the big presents, the Currys, the Smiths, and you know, small presents these days can cost a fortune, and it's sometimes not fair.
Yeah, and it's very, even like, you know, kids going back into school or whatever in January and saying, what do you get for Christmas? And someone got a PS, what are we on to now? 5? Or PS5, and the next person doesn't get, you know, gets it, whatever. And it's that comparing, and it's not just, it's the impact that makes, and what you're saying there about social media, and you do see that a lot every Christmas day, and it's nearly like a popularity contest, but you don't know the impact that you're making, even though like it might look good, for your Facebook, and it might look good for your kids, but what about the next mum who's sitting there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What does that lead to then? Are they questioning themselves like, I'm not good enough parents, you know, I can't provide for my children, and then all of a sudden they go into their mental health and stuff like that.
But the year after as well, you know, people might have seen that last year, and now they're, you know, they could be taking out loans, they could be taking out wongas, they could be taking, and that has a complete detrimental effect on your mental health after Christmas, struggling to pay that back maybe for the next 4, 5, 6 months. It can lead to, as you said, different mental health problems and different stresses that could be avoided.
Exactly. Just for being grateful for what we have, really, and not having to step out of that and trying to impress people, and just you're totally right. But unbelievable cause, unbelievable like what you're doing, unbelievable what you're doing for I suppose Ardoyne. The 2 days over the weekend are going to be obviously tough, it's going to be challenging, but Eamon has another question for you, and it's the most important question I think of the day.
What probably.
What would you have, Emo? What food would you have? If you were running around the mountain, what would you have after? I know what you'd have. A big hot dog.
That's a fair game. That's the toughest question I've been asked, Eamon. I know a bit of everything, you know. I'm hoping people will bring me some food while I'm doing it as well, but after I'll probably have to go with a Christmas chip.
Oh, we'll have to go for one of them, will we, Emo?
You bring it up for me? You want to bring it up for me?
No time.
Be gone by the time it gets up.
They need more on that, so we're putting on too much weight. But no, I think it's class, mate, and it just everything that you're doing, and even like every so often you meet these people and they just have a presence about them and just carry themselves a certain way, and you just know that they genuinely are just good people and they're doing things for the right reasons, and you're one of them people. And I just think it is really, really good. But how can I donate, or how can the viewers donate to what's going to be an amazing cause?
The GoFundMe link is live now, and it's on Facebook and Instagram. If you're not on Facebook or Instagram and you type "This is my Everest" into Google, it'll be one of the first things to come up on that as well. So it's being plastered over social media at the minute, I'm sure. Yeah. A lot of people are unfollowing me because
and you'll get that too.
The 2 or 3 posts are going up daily now for the next couple of days.
Yeah. But as my friend Annette Kelly from Little Penny Thoughts, she was on, and the first thing she said to me, she's whatever, over 500,000 followers or whatever on Instagram, she says it's not about the following, it's about the community. Yeah. 100%. And that's what it is all about, and it's amazing what you're doing, mate. I will throw the links and the posts or whatever onto the Let's Face It page too.
Let me know there are posters or stuff we need, and I'll get them to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And good luck.
Cheers, thanks very much.
I'll definitely come over and see you and join in for a lap or two. Like, I don't know if I can do it all with my foot, like, but I'll definitely come and jump in for a lap or two, and I think it's class what you're doing, and it's great to see the local businesses as well over jumping on board and helping out with this amazing cause. And I know that even for the West Belfast Food Bank, I know Mick Conlon,
I seen that actually this morning.
Yeah, another friend of ours made a very good contribution to the West Belfast Food Bank. So if anyone out there, I suppose firstly, if anyone out there is struggling coming up to Christmas with food or presents or anything like that, get in touch with the food banks, or contact us as well through Let's Face It, and we can put you in the direction, or steer you in the right direction to go and get help. Just don't suffer in silence, and it's so important that we do come together as a community for things like these. And go check out Oisín's page, Gale Fit Limited, and then look out for his posts around this weekend's brilliant event. So Yeah, thanks very much, mate. Do you want to say anything else?
All the posts for the event are on my coaching Facebook page, so that's Oisín Mcvicker Coaching on Facebook. And I'd just like to thank yourself for having me on, and again for all the sponsors that you did mention there, for making this, turning this challenge into really a reality. And again,
You've no choice but to do it now.
I can't. There's no backing out now. And everybody for helping out in the background. You know, I couldn't run or organise something this big on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, of Jen, Shawnee, Kieran Orkin, there's a lot of people doing a lot of things in the background there, that Tomas and Nicola, who are doing a lot of work in the background to make this happen. I know I might be the face of the campaign, but I generally couldn't be doing any of this without them.
Class.
So, thank you.
Getting that team around you too.
Uh-huh.
So no, thanks very much for coming on, mate. I wish we could talk longer, but
No,
Sean only has 20 minutes or something. So we'll blame it on Sean, because he's been getting he said to me last week, you late me up too much, so we'll put him back down a peg or two. But just before we go, the last thing, Eamon, are you back in as chairman? No. I'll have to do it.
You have to get him lunch after this here.
Cool, good.
Christmas chip.
It was great to have you on, and I will see you all soon. And thanks very much for all your support. Please like and share this and donate if you can. And if anyone is struggling, please reach out and don't suffer in silence. And I will see you all soon. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.